After seeing ThatAnimeSnob's video about Super Mario Bros., I decided to make my tier list regarding that series too. But he didn't make a tier list, he just talked about some nostalgia stuff, his experience and his thoughts, and ranked them based on that. I will just make a tier list ranking instead. It's much simpler, and I already had prepared pretty much a script for it, so I kinda can read it while I rank them. There will be major Mario games, just the mainline games. Other games on the list were from a template from a tier list maker, so yeah, you know. There may be some games I'm not aware of. Technically, I don't count remakes. Mario 64 DS was on the tier list too, and I decided not to add it. I'm not sure if there's a difference to justify its inclusion anyways, but since I didn't play it, it won't matter. Let's start with S tier, my absolute favorite, Super Mario Bros. 3. The reason for that is it's the first Mario game I bought with my own money. At the time I only owned an NES, and I was born during the Super NES era. I wasn't allowed to own any other console because space. Not to mention finding games were hard, since retro stores weren't a thing where I lived at the time. I bought it alongside Super Mario Bros. 2, which I actually wanted to play from the free market. I didn't want Mario 3 because of the cover. It looked bland, and yellow was my least favorite color as a kid. Well, I was a kid, so take a guess. And I'm glad the owner convinced me to buy it, and it was pretty cheap for the time. When I got home, you have to realize how my perception changed. Mario 3 was unlike anything I played before. I played Mario 1, the original Super Mario Bros., Nintendo World World Championship, Tetris, Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout, Donkey Kong Classics, which has Donkey Kong 1 without the Pi level, and Donkey Kong Jr. None of them were as vast in content as Mario 3. Secrets like in the first Mario game existed, and they were more than ever. Loved reading the manual, trying to discover all the enemies and trying out all the various power-ups. It was also the first Mario game I beat myself without seeing anyone play it first or looking for a playthrough. It took me years, but that made it the more satisfying. Beating Bowser and his children, the Koopalings, were a real challenge. And I didn't know about the flute that skipped the level, so yes, even to this date, I'm still discovering secret about this game. Yes, nostalgia plays a big role in this one, and canonically the Koopalings aren't even King Koopa's children, because Mario 3 is a screenplay. Let's go to A rank. They are about equal. Let's talk about Mario 64 first. I didn't own a Nintendo 64, but my friends did, and alongside Pokemon Stadium 2 and Smash Bros. Were the games I loved to play the most. The Mario game I heard didn't age well, and in a sense it's true. But the reason it is so high in the ranking is because you can tackle the game mostly in any order you like. Basically, this game is the first non-linear Mario game, and for the most part one of few. And the lack of linearity is really a big strength of Mario 64, giving you full freedom to explore the um, levels you are in which order you like, unlike in other Mario games, 3D Mario games. I heard Odyssey is much better experience because it goes back to Mario 64's roots. So once I played the latest Nintendo Switch Mario game, I can see Mario 64 to drop to B or below. Next is Super Mario World, a game I loved to play at my cousin. I didn't get to beat it until I owned an SNES myself, and that was when I became an adult. I could see the game to be this game is around the level of Mario 3. I loved using Yoshi, and it was far more fun than the traditional power-ups in which Mario World lacked for the most part. The usual power-ups kinda felt underwhelming, as the fire flower turns enemies into coins, but it feels less useful for me than the previous games. The cape feather is broken. At first I thought it was just a discount raccoon suit, a Raccoon Mario, but once you understand the mechanics, you will get what it really does. A shame that they removed some of my favorite power-ups. I would have expected Raccoon Mario to be a staple at this point. Boss fights were boring, but the games had other challenges to make up for it. You are encouraged to replay levels to discover new paths, sometimes giving you a shortcut to other areas. That is a way to make linearity feel less of a pain. Sadly, by the time I got it, the internet was fully accessible source, making it tempting to look up to solve issues. I didn't have the luxury aspects then, and it felt more fun when you became a challenge, even if it's bullshit. But trying not to use the internet is handicapping yourself to make the game artificially easier. Mario Galaxy, I told you I don't like linearity in 3D Mario, so why is Mario Galaxy on the list? Mario Galaxy has some unfair challenges like the Manta race and making you replay all the levels as Luigi if you want to 100% it. I feel the story played a big role in this, well, rather the representation. As a presentation, not representation. Prior to playing the game, I played Mario Galaxy 2. And while Mario Galaxy 2 isn't a bad game, I consider it actually boring. I still haven't finished that game. Mario Galaxy 2 has the exact same story as Galaxy 1, and more power-ups and more levels, but for some reason I had more fun playing Galaxy 1 for some reason. And I think each level forces you to a specific task. For the most part, you can decide in which order which galaxies you want to tackle first. That gives Galaxy a big advantage over Galaxy 2 and Sunshine. I also love the Ice Flower power-up in how it was implemented in this game. You are able to change the terrain as you run. The Red Star power-up sadly is only in one level, and the hub area it's the most fun power-up to use for flying. Well, sadly, this is all I can say about Galaxy. It's fun to play and it has lots of fun stuff for lore fans. I particularly don't care for Rosalina as a character, but her story is beautiful. And it's such a shame Miyamoto doesn't like stuff like that in his franchise. We are now in B rank, and Super Mario Bros. The original is the first Super Mario game I owned and played, so it has a big place in my heart. It still holds up to this day, as you can always pick it up and play. Lots of levels and shortcuts, truly designed to play for an hour since the game is rather short. It is also the game that made me scared of fictional characters at the time. I just couldn't get past Cooper. The Hammer Bros in this game are terrifying, and as you can imagine, the real Bowser is even worse. To ensure I get past them, I tried to preserve the fire power-up, and Mario is not easy for newcomers. You can practice and practice, and those skills can get rusty, or the game gets more difficult if you play on another platform like the 3DS. It is a simple game that can be enjoyed by everyone. I was playing with the idea of placing it A rank, but compared to all Mario games, it doesn't have much to offer. It's just, for the time, this game was a class of its own and doesn't require a large learning curve, and it can be played by everyone. Next on B rank is Super Mario Sunshine. Mario Sunshine is disliked by a lot for its mechanic and linearity. You have to play several fixed level 7 times, basically having the similar level objectives amongst them, and an annoying platform section and a Shadow Mario chase. Also many dislike Flood. I personally enjoyed this game a lot. It has the most beautiful atmosphere of all Mario games I have played so far. While for beating a game, you require to beat the levels as described. Delfino Plaza is a beautiful hub world to explore. When you go for 100% or just play to explore, you get a lot of this game. Sadly, I have more negatives to say, such as the blue coin mechanic, since you can't tell how many you have collected and where specifically you can trade, when specifically you can trade them, as well as level specific coins. And this game has the worst levels of the mainline Mario games, where you are required to get Yoshi to a specific island that is a slow boat and melt goo in a pipe to get in. Then travel a poisonous leaf, collecting 8 red coins, which is so unreliable. I had to use Flood to hover over the poison sea between the ledges, where one mistake can cost you a life. And if you don't want to lose a life in this, and you don't want to lose a life in this level, because if you get a game over or jump out from the pipe at the end, you are teleported to the hub world and have to do all this bullshit with Yoshi and the boat again. Yoshi in this game dies when it comes to contact with water and when it doesn't eat enough. So be careful, you don't want to fall into the water when jumping between ships, and eat a lot whenever you can to keep Yoshi alive. Yoshi is still fun in this game, as it can spit juice that can turn enemies into platform, eat enemies, and has the jumping mechanic from Super Mario Bros. World 2. Super Mario Land. It's the same game as Super Mario Bros. But for the Go. I love the 8-bit tunes, but why is it a B rank, not E rank like Super Mario Bros? Well, Mario Land has lots of competition when it came out. It's a nice game for short bursts, but why play it when you can play Mario Land 2 or Super Mario Bros. On the go right now? Super Mario Land has the Super Bowl power-up, isn't as useful as the Fire Flower, so it's fun to use regardless. Insanely short but challenging. A game made by the creator of the Game Boy, Gunpei Yokoi, but you can't win just by being a simple game. When you have a part of a franchise that has already something that category that is better. Regardless, Mario Land is still fun to play. On the topic of Super Mario Land 2, let's talk about Super Mario Bros. 2 instead, or Super Mario Bros. USA as the people in Japan know it. We know this game is Doki Doki Panic, but with the Mario skin on it. Not that it makes it a bad game, but I had a bad experience with this game. On my NES, on the backside of the package, I saw the games I thought I would never be able to play. Mario 2 was one of them. When I saw it years later in the flea market, I was hyped to play it. It wasn't what I expected, no power-ups besides Starman. You are just throwing enemies at each other. Compared to Mario 3, that was very disappointing. A mask is chasing you when you get the key. Beating enemies has to be done in a way I wasn't used to at the time. I had no manual of this game, so I had no idea what to do. However, over time I grew attached to this game. It's fun. I disliked it because it didn't feel like what I played, what I expected from a Super Mario Bros. Game. Change isn't bad, but this game felt too different to me. I don't regret ever owning this game. In fact, I own Super Mario All-Stars, which has the upgraded version of this game in it. If you haven't played this game, just give it a shot. Now let's talk about Super Mario Land 2. My favorite Mario Land game. You can save, and there are useful power-ups. Coins are useful to purchase items, and extra lives, which you need to stop Wario. It's a big improvement over Mario Land. Sadly, being better doesn't make it good enough to push it to a tier higher. Mario Land was pretty short, obviously, for a Game Boy game. It does have what it takes. It does what it had to do. The final level was insanely hard, since you had to tackle the levels in any order you like. They are made in a way to balance the level curve, so the end you aren't prepared for Wario's castle. Wario is a unique enemy for the game. It's nice to fight someone using Mario's power-ups against him instead. Next is Super Mario Bros. aka New Super Mario Bros. DS. Sadly, is a victim of the New Super Mario Bros. Syndrome, because Nintendo decided to rehash this game over and over again. I didn't put this game as high because it was the first. I put this game as high because it was the first. This is the best New Super Mario Bros. Game. Enemies are unique, and for a 3DS game it looked beautiful. Also, it had the best balance in terms of challenge. Easy to pick up and play, but not brainlessly easy, like the others. While we added New Super Mario Bros. V, well, at this point we should move to C rank, but this game took advantage of the Vi's popularity to introduce a 4-player co-op. Also, some of the best power-ups and the couplings are in 3D. But the game isn't particularly challenging. It still looked beautiful for a Wii game. I've 100%ed it and don't go back to replay it often. Ice Flower is similar to Fire Flower power-up, that's what we needed. I wish there were more elemental flower power-ups. Kinda tired of flying Marios. such a waste. That they made the penguin suit, such a waste they made the penguin suit and gave it all of Ice Mario's powers. And it's not like the Tanuki Mario, which is a very rare power up and hard to get to justify its existence. C rank. Now we are at C rank. This is the game ThatAnimeSnob really liked. Probably his favorite, but for me it's not that high. Not the worst, not worse than the other games. I didn't enjoy playing this one. It's certainly a fun game, but has a few Mario mechanics. It's truly its own thing, basically a Yoshi game. Mario crying is annoying and it's really hard. You can beat the game, but try 100% this, it's a nightmare. But it is a fair, is it a fair challenge? I think so. Unlike what we are going to talk about next, and Sunshine's Poison Sea level was way more hard. Super Mario 3D World, not a bad game. It's very fun, 4-player co-op game in 3D. Why is it C rank? To me it's pretty forgettable game. It has challenges, decent ones, and collectibles. Also it's nice to see a traditional power-up in a 3D Mario game with a time limit. You can pick one between 5 players, which one of them is unlockable. Mario, Luigi, Toad, Rosalina and Peach. Sadly at this point I likely felt burnt out of Mario games or just didn't enjoy them that much. I honestly kept forgetting this game exists. The Switch version has Bowser's Fury, which I didn't get to play, but this game on its own is something that I remember. It's not something I remember when I think Mario games. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I don't hate Galaxy 2, I just find it boring. I was so hyped to play it, but it felt like I was forcing myself. It wasn't until I played Galaxy 1 I found motivation to beat this game, but once I stopped I didn't touch it again. The problem, this game feels too linear, which is not the reason I play 3D Mario. You can tackle the levels in order you like, and you are moving from point A to B, a fixed objective. This is not what I enjoy about Mario games. The story isn't bad, I don't play Mario for the story, and I didn't play Galaxy to compare it yet, but that isn't why there's a huge gap between them. I hear people saying Galaxy 1 is great because of the story and Galaxy 2 is great for the gameplay, but while Galaxy 2 looks like Galaxy 1, I don't feel any big satisfaction in playing one over the other in terms of level or mechanics. They are the same. Galaxy 1 gives you more freedom, which makes it overall better in that regard too. But what really bothered me is the level transition, and likely the reason I got bored quickly. It takes about a minute or more until you select a level and enter it. It's worse when a comet arrives because you need to wait longer. The Green Star mission are by far the worst in that regard. I turned the game off before I could play it. But I can't judge the gameplay on how long it takes to play it, right? What about the power-ups? The Cloud power-up flower is fun. The rock mushroom is awful and hard to control. They took out two of my favorite power-ups in the Ice Flower and Red Star. But it has Yoshi, who has its own power-ups. Yoshi isn't very fun in this game. You are forced to use him and it's terrible and his terrible power-ups make it hard to control. Yoshi should makes the game better than Galaxy just by existing, yet Yoshi made the game worse despite not drying in water like in Sunshine. I honestly don't recall a single level in Galaxy 2 unlike in other Mario games. Not to say that they are not memorable, but I don't recall that isn't recycled from Galaxy 1. Now we get to the D rank, Super Mario Lost Levels or the real Super Mario Bros. 2. Why is it D rank? I love challenges in games, and I should love this one, right? It's hard as balls because it's completely unfair. There are pipes that teleport you back to a level. There are invisible coin boxes in awful places. This game was made for people that mastered the original, which is why it plays exactly the same and it looks the same. Well, there are a few changes, like you can bounce off Koopa shells and enemies, but yeah, a few, but not very noticeable. But I don't feel those kind of challenges what people needed. The good thing for people who want to challenge themselves, there's Mario Maker where you can play as many Mario 1 like levels, but this was on original hardware. There was no Mario Maker on the NES. The best thing I can say is that the remakes of this game have save features, so you can start always from the most recent awful level as much as you like. A new Super Mario Bros. U. Let's talk about this game. Why is it below the Wii counterpart? It's more the same, right? You can even play 5 players and it's more challenging. Sadly, that isn't enough to justify its quality. It's a fun game, but we were there already. Yes, the Wii U doesn't have many games, but the jump in graphics shows how poorly this aged compared to the competition. There's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the same platform. This game doesn't stand out, and the only new power-up is the flying power-up. Another flying power-up. And I guess you can mention the Yoshis, but whatever. The Deluxe version added the DLC, new Super Luigi U, and a new character that has an exclusive power-up which turns it into Peachette, which plays like Squirrel Mario, making it just a fancy skin. It's too forgettable. Next, Super Mario 3D Land. Hard to control and navigate. It was way less fun than I expected. This sold me the 3DS, and I didn't enjoy it. It was easy to beat, but when I lost it felt like out of my control. What annoyed me is that the Tanuki power-up played like a discount raccoon power-up, making its inclusion rather pointless. It's supposed to be a selling point. They designed another raccoon Mario, which had, well, Tanuki Mario, which has a scarf, that can use his statue moves. Colored Patty, I feel it's insulting to the power. They even let you obtain it with a leaf instead of the Tanuki suit. I assume that was done because of Peter, but they could have given us Raccoon Mario instead. There are Street Pass features that make the game more playable, since you can gather exclusive comment coins. E rank. This is exclusive to New Super Mario Bros. 2. The biggest disappointment of mainline Mario games I have ever played. The game isn't bad per se, but nothing about it is memorable. The coins have no purpose. They recycled so much from older, better Mario games. Raccoon Mario is back, Renzo is back, boss fights are boring, Koopa Links again. The game is too easy. I beat it in the day I bought it in 4 to 6 hours, no joke. All star coins collected. I got 1 million coins later for a boring startup screen. They couldn't have done something interesting with the game. I don't know, involve Wario in this game about coins, make me purchase items with the coins collected, even something like mere power-ups. Even the Wii U version did something more with the coin mechanics than the 3DS did. I didn't expect something this mediocre from Mario, to be honest. At least it has a new power-up, even if it's temporary, the gold flower. It's a beefed up fire flowers that prints money, while destroying blocks and enemies with golden fireballs. It's fun to use, but I wouldn't mind it to come back. What are your favorite Mario games, and what experience did you have? By the way, try not to spoil the Switch Mario games if possible, at least not the ending. I know the reason how Mario ended with Cappy, so that's not a big deal.